State Representative Jimmy Eldridge, we're at the Old Country Store today for a big announcement. Tell me what happened.
Yes, sir, Keith. We were able to pass some legislation and get it funded, honor a man that served our community so well as our state senator, former state senator Bobby Carter. He served in the state senate from 1995 to 2002, and he served us so well. He did so much for this community, for our state. He was a man that he loved the Lord. He was strong in his faith. Unfortunately, he succumbed to MS and passed away just a few years ago, and so today we honored him by passing a bill and presenting naming the State Senator Bobby Carter Memorial Bridge out here on Three-Way, going towards Three-Way on the Highway 45, better known as the Key Short Bypass, as you go into the Three-Way community. And we did that celebration right here at the Old Country Store with the family here. His son Russ Carter was here, and his daughter Jenny, and their kids and family and wives, and we had a room packed full of family friends of Bobby. And Bobby always frequented the Old Country Store. He came here every morning when he wasn't in Nashville, serving. He was part of that breakfast club that met here, coffee club. It wasn't breakfast, it was a coffee club. And Bobby did so much for our state and our community. He was one of the founding members. Bobby was one of the founding members of the West Tennessee Healthcare Foundation, which does so much for West Tennessee and our hospital. He did a lot of other great things for us, and Bobby walked the walk in his faith. And he was the kind of guy that, he succumbed to MS, and, I'd go visit him at his house quite frequently, and he would always encourage you. He was bedridden towards the end, and he would encourage anybody that came to see him. He'd encourage you. You might have a little headache, and he'd encourage you. But I was there to encourage Bobby, and just visit with him and bring him a Tennessee Blue Book that he used to give out all the time. And so it was a great honor to honor him for honoring our community and all the great things that Bobby did for our state and our community.
Bobby Carter was described to me at the time that I covered news
Right.
during his tenure as a statesman. You don't hear that kind of description often from leaders today. Bobby Carter fit the role of the elder statesman in politics.
He absolutely did, and he's somebody that mentored a lot of us. He was a mentor to me, and I always try to live up to what Bobby would expect you to do and be a statesman. And Bobby, even on the Senate floor, as a lady that spoke today that said not some kind words about Bobby, that worked for 8 years up there, Linda Kleinman, she said Bobby didn't speak much on the Senate floor. He was very quiet, but when he spoke, everybody listened because he had something very important to say. He wasn't one of those guys that just liked to grab the microphone and get up there and pop off. He always came from the heart, and he loved serving. He loved his community, he loved his family, and he loved his Lord. And we all miss him, but we were able to leave him in our memories by memorializing our bridge named after Bobby Carter.
Bobby Carter didn't go directly into politics. He went into politics later in life after he had life experiences. He ran a business. He
did.
Participated in his community. How important was that to his leadership skills?
Oh, I think it was very, very important. As a matter of fact, Bobby was a very humble man, but he was an outstanding basketball player at UT Knoxville. He played on the basketball team in his early life, and came to West Tennessee. He coached. He was a referee, very involved in the community. And somewhere along the line, he found the love of his life, Polly Carter, and they got married. And Polly's family owned the Coca-Cola bottling company, Bill Tabor, and who's now deceased. But Bill Tabor owned the Coca-Cola bottling company. He had, I think, another partner in there. And Senator Carter went to work for his father-in-law, and just did a great job working in the Coca-Cola plant here. And that was back when it was a bottling company here, big plant here. But Bobby had a love. He had a wonderful testimony. But when liquor by the drink first came out here in Jackson and liquor stores, he fought, hard against that because of his belief and the problem that he was challenged with that in his earlier days. But he overcame that and became a spokesman and worked hard for our community. And he cared about young people. He worked in young people's lives. He cared about everybody's lives. And he had so many friends here in this community, as was shown today, the love of the people that spoke. I was able to kind of MC the program today, and I was just calling different people to tell a story about Bobby. It was just heartwarming and very encouraging to hear the great stories that Bobby did for our community.
You've mentioned his faith several times. One of the things
Yes, sir.
that Bobby Carter did was he was a lay minister, a pastor.
He
and
was.
As long as he was able to, he continued to drive, I believe, to East Tennessee.
East Tennessee, up in
Every
those
Sunday.
hills. Every Sunday, once a month.
Yes, every Sunday, once a month, he would drive up there on Sunday to pastor that. How important do you think him having a moral compass of faith was to his ability to lead?
Well, it showed. It was an encouragement to everybody, because Bobby truly walked the walk. I mean, he didn't have a perfect life. He went through his ups and downs, but he got his life together many years before he succumbed to MS, and he was a great encourager. The church that he would pastor up there, and actually in East Tennessee, it was up in the Virginia mountains, up in those hills. His grandfather pastored there for many, many years. Bobby's daddy pastored there for many, many years, and Bobby didn't walk away from it. He followed his family's heritage footsteps, and he'd go up there and preach every Sunday, once a month. And I never had the opportunity to go up there and hear, but they said they'd start in the morning, go most of the day up there preaching and sharing their faith.
Let me switch gears a moment.
Sure.
You have made it public that you will be a candidate for the Jackson City Mayor. You were
Absolutely.
unable to attend the City Council meeting today because of your prior commitments here to honor Senator Carter. But today the City Council made a decision to repurpose the savings from the property tax appraisal and earmark it specifically for capital and road improvements. It doesn't raise the taxes, they remain at $1.96, but it recaptures those savings and puts them towards pavement. How do you feel about that?
I think the city council and the mayor, they did what they need to do for our community right here, and they just took advantage of an opportunity with reappraisal. And most people, as I understand it, I wasn't in the meeting, I hadn't seen that budget yet. We'll be getting a copy of it and studying it very closely, but I don't fault them for what they did, because the average person will probably not see very little change in their tax rate at all. But it's an opportunity we do have a lot of roads that need to be repaved, and a lot of this money, I understand, and it's going to be about $1.5 million revenues from that. And when you take 68,000 residents or 70,000 residents in Madison County and spread that out, that's pretty thin right there. But it'll go a long way in improving our infrastructure, particularly paving a lot of roads that need to be repaved.
Do you anticipate that as a part of your campaign, you'll have an infrastructure plan on how, because one of the significant issues is infrastructure, roads and sewers, things like that, water pipe and sewer.
Right.
So would you expect that when you get ready, you'll have a plan for that?
Steve, we will have a plan for that, and we're beginning to look at that now. We just hadn't unveiled that plan yet because it's so early, and we want to look at it very carefully, very cautiously, and very methodically. In the city of Jackson, believe it or not, we have over 450 miles of roads. 450 miles of roads, and a lot of these roads are in despair. They need a lot of work on them. So we got to look at a plan of how can we repair these roads. I can't do them all overnight, but come up with a plan that we can improve our road situation, look at our infrastructure, look at our stormwater runoff. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed, looked at, and I never look back and criticize any administration or any mayor before us, because every mayor does what they have to do. You have to work with your city council. You're the captain of the ship, but you got to have good people working with you. It's a team effort, everybody working together. And hopefully, if I have the opportunity to be the next mayor of Jackson, I want to continue to move our city ahead, because we're at a major crossroads. We can move on to be more progressive and do great things. And I applaud Jerry Kiss. He's done a great job. Before him, Mayor Charles Farmer did a great job. And each mayor has a responsibility to continue that improvement.